In the heart of a bustling 19th-century town, stories of newfound riches sparked fires in the hearts of dreamers. Among those dreamers were three friends, Daniel, Roy, and Caleb, each carrying nothing but hope, tools, and a map. Daniel was the leader, always talking about destiny and fortune with stars in his eyes. Roy, a strong and quiet man, had faith in hard work more than luck. Caleb, the youngest, was uncertain but drawn to the promise of a better life. The three left their families behind, bought mining equipment, and set out west in search of gold. Days turned into weeks as they followed the map through forests, rivers, and rugged terrain. Finally, they reached a desolate canyon where the map hinted at buried treasure. They pitched camp, named the site Fortune Gulch, and began to dig. The first few days were filled with laughter, songs, and high spirits. As the sun rose each morning, pickaxes struck the earth with fierce determination. Day by day, they dug deeper, uncovering only dirt and disappointment. Caleb began to question the map's authenticity, suggesting they might have been fooled. Daniel refused to give in, reminding them that every treasure is earned, not given. But the days grew hotter, and the mine grew deeper, yet still, they found nothing. Tensions flared, and arguments became frequent as exhaustion and doubt crept in. Their supplies began to dwindle, and the hope they once had started to fade. "Maybe we're just chasing shadows," Caleb muttered one night, gazing at the stars. "If we leave now, we can still salvage what's left," Roy suggested cautiously. Daniel, though worn and weary, felt something deeper telling him to stay. After weeks with no gold, Caleb packed his bag first, declaring it a lost cause. Roy followed the next morning, leaving behind only a note and his pickaxe. Alone now, Daniel stood in the center of the excavation, heart torn but spirit flickering. Everyone had left, but he couldn't shake the feeling that they were close, so close. With the last of his strength, he began digging deeper into the shaft, alone. Hours turned into a full day, and still, there was nothing but stubborn rock. As darkness crept in, Daniel made one final swing, striking something different. A glimmer of gold peeked through the cracked rock, just 3 feet from where they had all stopped. He cried out, not in pain, but in pure triumph, echoing through the canyon walls. That night, under a starlit sky, Daniel knew he had found more than treasure, he had found truth. At sunrise, Daniel filled a small pouch with gold and began the journey back to town. Dust covered his clothes, but his heart was light. He had done the impossible. The town barely recognized him until he opened the pouch and poured out gold dust. Caleb, working in a local mill, dropped his tools in shock when he saw the news. Roy, sitting at a roadside inn, read about the discovery and whispered, 3 feet, we were just 3 feet away. Word of Daniel's perseverance spread like wildfire across the region. He was invited to speak at gatherings, sharing not just his gold, but his grit. He spoke of faith, struggle, and a voice deep within that urged him to keep digging. Caleb and Roy eventually visited him, humbled and proud of what their friend had accomplished. Daniel welcomed them without resentment, saying, "We all had our part in this journey." Daniel used his wealth not for luxury, but to help others pursue their dreams. He became a symbol of endurance, the man who kept digging when no one else would. Miners came from distant lands, asking for advice and inspiration. But he always told them the same thing: the treasure you seek is buried just beyond your breaking point. His story became legend. 3 feet from gold was etched in history. Daniel never stopped searching, not just for gold, but for meaning in helping others. Fortune Gulch became a haven for dreamers, built by one man's refusal to give up. And every time someone doubted themselves, they remembered Daniel's story. The earth hides its treasures well, but it gives them freely to those who dig with heart. Daniel's legacy wasn't just gold, it was the courage to dig just a little deeper. Moral of the story: success often lies just beyond your point of frustration. Don't quit, your goal may be just 3 feet away. Perseverance is the bridge between dreams and reality. Failure is only final when you stop trying. Every struggle hides a breakthrough if you dare to keep going.